Hi, it's Darlene. Welcome to another card video. This week I have a bunch of different things actually that I use, different techniques. I'm going to start with a piece of cardstock and Hero Arts Wildflower Garden stamp and some Versamark ink. And I'm going to stamp this twice to fill up the background. I'm going to kind of lower it the second time so it doesn't look like I stamped it twice. Alright, now I'm going to just put some white embossing powder on there, and then I'm going to heat it up to set it. And you'll notice that when I'm done heating up the front, I'll heat up the back, and that helps with the warping of the paper. It kind of returns the paper back to its original shape. I'm going to take some Tempting Turquoise ink and my foam applicator, and I'm going to blend it in there, and it's going to resist the embossing powder. I'm taking this en français stamp. It's a Stampin' Up background stamp and some chocolate chip ink, and then I'm going to stamp off, which means I'm going to stamp it on a piece of paper to remove some of the ink, and then I'm going to take a baby wipe and remove even more ink. Then I'm going to take my baby wipe and I'm going to wipe it all off the embossed areas. And then I'm going to take my Tempting Turquoise, it's the same color I used before, and just go over it one more time to kind of blend in the background stamp I just did on that en français and make the color a little bit more vibrant. Okay, I'm using my Hero Arts Sizzix set with the butterfly and some Memento ink on watercolor paper. So I'm going to stamp that butterfly, and then I'm going to take a couple of Stampin' Up markers. First one I'm going to use is Tangerine Tango, and I've done this technique on a couple of other cards before, but what you do is you actually color the watercolor paper with the marker, and then you take your blender pen and you blend out the color. And I'm going to color it using the marker in the darkest areas of the butterfly, which is going to be towards the center and a little bit under that top wing. And then I decided I was just going to color in the edges of the wings directly with the marker. And I used Daffodil Delight, and again just colored directly onto the watercolor paper. Okay, I'm going to do that same thing on the other side. And then I took some crumb cake and I colored that middle portion in. Now this set comes with a die to cut these butterflies out, which is really cool because the die cuts it pretty close to the edge and you can see where you put it. And I just used some Eclipse masking tape to hold the die in place as I run it through my Sizzix machine. These are just some Spellbinder standard circles. I'm going to cut one in the white and one in the Early Espresso cardstock, which is Stampin' Up. And what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to figure out where the center of this circle is, and so I kind of measured the midpoint on both sides, and then I marked the edges there. I don't know why I did all 4 edges because I only needed 2, but I then marked 1/4 of an inch in so I knew how far in to go with this slot punch. And then I'm just going to erase my pencil lines. This is a Uniball Signo broad tip white gel pen, and it's the most awesome gel pen ever. So if you're in the market for one, you can see my blog for a link. Anyway, so I also did some dots around the white circle in brown. And here I'm using some Colorbox chalk ink, which I think works best with these clear stamps. I was going to use Memento, and then I switched it out for some chalk ink. This is some new baker's twine called, I can't remember, So Easy Floss, I think. And I'm just cutting 3 pieces out, and I'm going to thread it through those holes that I made. And I'm going to use some dimensionals, which is foam adhesive, to pop that up on my card. And the reason why I use that yellow is called Lemonade, I think. Yellow and white floss is because I wanted to bring out some of the yellow in my butterfly. And then I'm just going to make sure that all my 3 pieces are lined up just right, and then I'm going to adhere them to the back of the card and trim it off. Now I'm just adhering this panel to a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch folded cardstock. And then I'm going to take my butterfly and I'm going to use some mini glue dots. I'm going to put 2 of them on there and put it right in the middle of that circle. And then I decided to go ahead and jazz it up a little bit with some stickles. So on all my yellow dots, I added some stickles to it. These are just, I think it's called ice stickles by Ranger. And that's it. It's actually not too bad today. Not too complicated, so I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.